Bureaucracy's basement to your ears, this is the weekly meeting of the Queen City Improvement Bureau. Each week, the dedicated staff of the Bureau meet to file recommendations, make reports, and survive on water that drips from the boiler pipes into their open mouths as they try to sleep on a bed of dot matrix printer paper. Maybe one day we'll escape from the subterranean hell that is the subbasement, but until that day comes, this city is not going to improve itself. So, here we stay, improving things. This meeting is now in session.
Hey. You know, I'm beginning to think that maybe you don't hear the music.
Music?
Well, I've noticed that you're never dancing. And here I am, dancing like a fool at the beginning of the show. You don't hear the music.
There is a reason. There is a reason I don't dance to the music.
What's that? You got no rhythm?
There's that.
Okay.
But long ago, I swore I would never dance again until the man who murdered my family was brought to justice.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
He murdered them during, like, a dance-off, so...
Out of spite, so he'd win the dance-off, or...?
Yeah.
Wow.
You called it.
Holy moly.
Yeah, Ramiro's the dancing king. It's a false crown. It belongs to me. But until he is brought to justice, I will never dance again.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Now I feel bad about bringing it up. I feel like I've triggered something.
That's okay. I mean, I feel like his guilty feet would have no rhythm. But they do.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's not guilt that gives you rhythm. It's murder.
Yes, apparently. Yeah.
A little killing gets your toes tapping.
Yeah. The more of my family that he killed, the more nifty his dance steps got.
Yeah.
The higher he kicked.
Yeah.
The carter he wheeled.
We better stop talking about this or we're going to get demonetized.
That's right. We don't, family murder, we don't, the massive profits.
All the unaliving, Hayden.
All the unaliving, yes, exactly. We should watch ourselves. Anyway, so I've been, different topic.
Yeah.
I've been in contact with our union.
Oh, good.
Yes. Our water rations are being doubled.
Oh, fantastic.
But unfortunately, the extra water will be just in the form of our sandwiches, which they will soak in water. So it's
That's grim.
Yeah. You get a little of one, a little less of the other.
Yeah.
You can just squeeze the sandwich and get the water that way.
Yeah.
A little less disgusting.
There's all these concerns about fluoride in our water, but not enough concerns about water in our sandwiches.
Don't tell Councillor Bizzo.
So anyways, should we do attendance?
Why not?
Okay. I'm kind of hoping you'll take this one.
Like I saw you last week.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw you this morning.
Yeah.
And you were brushing your teeth, and I said, "Hey, you."
At the water cooler.
At the water cooler. Yeah, and I was like, "Hey, you, stop brushing your teeth, because I need the water cooler water to water my sandwich."
Yeah.
It's like Sean Paul.
No? Close.
It's not Ramiro's, the man who unalived my family during the dance.
I wouldn't tell you now.
Oh, no. I tipped my hand.
Yes, you did.
I spilled the beans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've revealed myself as a great dancer.
Oh, no, exactly.
Yeah.
I've got my eye on you, sir. Anyway, but I think there's definitely a Paul in there somewhere.
Yes, it's Paul Deshane.
Nice.
Yeah. And you are.
Am I Sean Paul?
No.
I start.
Aiden.
What?
It's Aiden.
Where?
You are.
I'm here?
No, you're Aiden.
Nice. Okay, I made not Aiden Morgan.
Yeah, the one and only.
That guy's famous.
I've heard stories.
That's me too.
It's a terrible answer, though.
I know. Well, I'm out of practice.
I get it.
It's been years.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We have a guest.
Yeah.
We have Ward 8 councillor Shanon Zachidniak.
Hello.
So, Shanon, it's good to have you back on the show because it's been a while.
It has.
And you are one of two returning councillors. You're like one of the two-termers.
Well, Jason's a three-termer now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So
that's right. I forgot. Okay, so you're the only two-termer, and there's the three-termer,
yes,
and then a bunch of no-termers.
That is what we call them, yes.
Yeah? How does it feel?
It feels amazing. What a change from the day before the election to the day after the election. Certainly not one that I was anticipating, and it's great. Like the major shift in energy in the best way possible.
So,
who did you vote for in your ward?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
Secret balloting.
Yeah. I cannot disclose that information.
I thought just by asking you like point blank, you would be so surprised you would reveal it.
Yes. No, and I'll never say.
So, so, like, if you had to describe the energy in like 1 to 3 words, what would you say?
Much better.
Okay, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas. Thesaurus.
I mean, I guess I'll say that at least, like, if we want to talk about the mayors, like, they have a very different approach, and it's honestly feels like 180 degrees different. So it was also kind of hard to get used to, too. It's like, oh, whoa, we're, we had the previous mayor who, I'm just like, how do I describe all of this? Just had, Chad is a very collaborative mayor. And so, the previous mayor had a different leadership style. And so it was such an extreme...
diplomatic.
Such an extreme difference that it was like it was almost like shocking. I was like, "What is going on?" I a flip upside down sort of change.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Chad, just tell me what to do."
So I'll just leave it at that. But different leadership styles.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then also there's a lot of energy on council. Like, people are excited. Like, there's 9 new folks who all came in with their new ideas of change they'd like to see. Everybody's energized, and so I will change my description, and I will say energized. Okay. You like that better?
Yeah, that is better. Yeah, you're still getting the thesaurus, though.
Okay, noted.
Yeah, and you know how much I love change. So it's great that there's all that change energy on council. That was sarcasm.
Yes, I'm picking up on that.
Yeah. So you also, you not only are re-elected, two-term councillor, but you've got totally new ward boundaries. So you've got a very different set, like, electorate that you're serving this time. How's that?
Yeah, well, I mean, the ward is one of the largest in the city. Like, Ward 8 and Ward 6 are both very big. And so what happened is the communities of Norman View and Norman View West are no longer in my ward, and it picked up North Central instead. And it's a lot. Like, I've always done this job as a full-time counselor, which is a good thing. In an ideal world, North Central would have their own dedicated full-time counselor, because it's an area of the city that needs a lot of attention and care. That's not how things work, unfortunately. So I'm happy to represent the ward. It's a huge commitment, and honestly, it's probably better that luckily I had 4 years under my belt so that I could hit the ground running, essentially, because some of the requests that I get from North Central are time sensitive and important and urgent. And so luckily I'm available to try and respond to them as quickly as I can. But I'll also say within my ward, I feel like I have a microcosm of the whole city, because I have our most marginalized neighborhood to Westera, one of our newest subdivisions, and then everything in between. So it's like a little community of folks that I represent. So I hear, I guess, the whole, like the whole spectrum of issues.
Cool. Yeah. So we're going into a budget right now, and it's, I think it's safe to say this might be record-breaking with the mill rate increase. And so it's an 8.5% mill rate increase, a 5.8% utility rate increase, I think. And it's all happening next week for 5 days.
Not next week, the week after.
You're right.
Give me a heart attack. I'm not ready next week.
You're right. Yeah, it is 2 weeks. Sorry.
Yeah.
What are you hearing? Like, I think I can guess what you're hearing about the budget. But yeah, how are people feeling?
Well, so there's some folks who are saying, of course, nobody wants to see the mill rate increase 8.5%. Some folks are frustrated as the cost of living is going up across the board, and certainly are feeling the pinch, like everybody, to a different extent. But also, as noted, I now represent our most marginalized neighborhood. So for some folks, it's not a question of, wow, this is really annoying, and it's a difference between someone being able to stay in their home or it's the burden's heavier and for some folks than others. And so the question that I'm asking myself when I'm representing the North Central and some of our most marginalized community members is like, it's not like, it would be ideal if we could knock it down. It's like, what can people actually afford? What can some of these folks actually, and it feels like it's a heavy question, and I don't know the answer. But what I can say is we've spoken to our partner organizations and made it clear, like, what we're hearing from residents and the desire for folks to ensure that they are taking a hard look at their budgets and bringing forward one that is reflective of the times that we're in, and is, if there's savings and efficiencies they can find themselves in their budget, that's going to be better than us doing that on the floor of council.
Right.
And so the Regina Police Service, actually, they already reduced their budget request by $800,000.
Oh,
so they did that on their own.
Right.
And so they sent us a letter, a revised budget ask, that's $800,000 less. So it's no longer 8.5 now, it's whatever, 8.5 minus 800,000, whatever that works out to be.
Yeah, so that'd be like 8 or something like that.
And I think the other partner organizations some of them may come to us with reduced asks or other options.
Yeah.
Because they probably don't want us just making up numbers on the floor of council during budget time.
Because I've heard delegations do that before.
Yes. You've also potentially seen that in previous council
and budget
deliberations. Yeah. And I won't say it where they didn't work out well. So if they can do that work themselves, that'll help us.
Yeah, cool. Are you looking forward? You guys booked a week?
Oh, my gosh. No, I'm not looking for. I mean, yes, I am. It's part of my job that I am excited to do. Like,
really?
No. Like, it's I'm like, it's an important part of my job, but to consider sitting there for perhaps 8 hours, Monday through Friday, deliberating the budget, sounds taxing. Taxing. Oh, that was a good one.
That was very funny. Have you thought about stand-up comedy?
Yes.
Wow. You could get out of politics.
Budget debate humor.
Yeah.
That's our show.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
Don't step on our...
Steal your show. On the budget, I am having a budget town hall on Sunday.
This Sunday?
This Sunday.
Right on.
At Rosemont Community School in the gym.
Yeah.
So 6:30 to 8:30, and I want folks to come out because I'll give a presentation on the budget, the city budget.
Yeah.
And then we'll have folks from finance there to answer questions.
Oh, cool.
And then what can also happen is we get to submit our questions, councillors, in advance of the budget. Like if that way we're not asking as many questions during budget deliberations. And if folks come with questions that are different perspectives that I hadn't thought of, or answers that I would like to have too that I don't know, I'll be able to submit those questions along with mine. So I think it'll be really helpful all around, like for folks to have a better understanding of the budget, and for me to ensure I'm representing their questions and concerns.
Right. Now that is what times?
6:30 to 8:30 this Sunday, which is March 9th, I think. Mm-hmm. Rosemont Community School in the gym.
And you've got a Facebook event and stuff up.
I do have a Facebook
check.
event, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
What about, okay, so I've never seen 5 days booked for a budget.
Yeah.
That's new. I think you got up to 3 with the last one.
Yes.
That just reminded me, I got 2 questions for you. But the first one is, how, like, these are mostly, you've got like 9 out of 11 people on council are brand new. Like, how up to speed are folks? Like, because the budget isn't just like long and grueling. It's actually often like a very complicated set of meetings. Like, and sometimes because things get late, like I've even seen like really silly mistakes get made just because, after like 3 days of 12 hours a day.
Who knows?
Errors slip in, yeah. So are you guys like getting like extra training? Are you like running upstairs? And is it a training montage down at City Hall?
Well, I heard that some councillors were watching last year's budget.
Oh, my God.
I was like, if you're looking for examples of everything that should not, like the worst case scenario budget deliberations, like, sure. But if you want to see what an actual productive, useful, fruitful deliberation is, like, it's not last year's budget.
Yeah.
And so we had a briefing about the budget after our meeting this Wednesday. There's going to be some changes. You were just talking about how much you like change, so change is coming to the budget process. But I think, like, one of the reasons we have 5 days booked, I think, is because there's so many new councillors. So yeah.
Have you considered levying like a 25% tariff on everything from Moose Jaw?
Yes, that's my motion coming. No.
Yeah. What about like a tariff levied on every minute over your time that you go during the meeting?
During budget or just any time?
Mostly budget meeting. Like, if you
like
instead of having a swear jar.
Yeah.
If the clerk says, okay, you got to wrap it up, and you keep talking, you got to put $1 in the swear jar, and all that can go on the mill rate.
I think we would make more money if people had to pay $1 for every time that they didn't ask a delegation a question, and instead were making statements.
Oh yeah, that's
where we would. Mm-hmm. And that's perhaps a great way to knock down the mill rate.
Yeah.
So thank you, Paul.
I
will.
You can take
imagine the massive revenue that would have been like gleaned from
over
Hawkins, for example.
God, yeah.
Every 30 seconds of speechifying he did.
Yeah.
I'm writing this down for a future motion.
Brilliant. We're on 91.3 FM CJTR, Regina Community Radio. We are the Queen City Improvement Bureau, and we have Councillor Shanon Zachidniak.
We have rebranded.
Oh, right. We are Access Now Radio?
Yes,
like that?
yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry. There's a script there, but it's like out of my reach.
Do you want me to say it?
Go ahead.
Our name is now Access Now Community Radio. Do you want the station ID, or we'll leave that for...
Go for it.
Oh, where is it? Oh, you're listening to 91.3 FM CJTR, Access Now Community Radio. I used to be a radio DJ. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Do you know Sonic
The
It's a
hedgehog?
fast food restaurant chain
Uh-huh.
in the United States. It's
Yeah.
Sonic Burgers. You drive in and get your burger. They used to have their own radio station.
Really?
And when I lived in Texas, I was one of their radio personalities. We'd have to promote items from the menu every hour. And my radio name was Sky Morgan.
What?
It's like we're related.
We could be. Probably not.
In the
But we
radio
could-
world.
In the radio world.
Yes,
We're,
yes.
we're
Yeah.
radio siblings.
Because I know your real name is definitely not Aiden Morgan.
Who would
And
be
yours
named-
not Paul Deshane. Those are clearly
Yeah.
Oh, totally
radio
alias.
names.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
who would be named Aiden Morgan? Ridiculous.
It's too catchy.
Not
It would be a real name.
I don't even have an Irish accent. Ridiculous.
Sorry, that took us off topic.
No, that's fine. I have another budget question, though.
Oh, good.
You know what I have noticed a distinct lack of attention to and just like focus? Is this a 2-year budget?
No,
So we just like decided to like not do that?
not this time. And I think it's fair with 9 of 11 new people on council,
Sure.
just trying to get through, like, how does the budget work, period, never mind doing a 2-year budget process. And then the other piece was, if we did 1 year this year and then back to the 2-year cycle, then we won't be stuck with the overlap with an election again, where
Right.
like we start a new 2-year cycle right after the election is not the time to do it.
Okay. Did this, like, was there a motion on this or something? Because, like, I don't recall this being discussed at council.
Like, it wasn't a motion from a councillor, but it must have been a part of a administrative report.
Okay, I missed that then. Because, I'm just surprised. I mean, I noticed that there was no mention of it being a 2-year budget, but I didn't see where that had changed.
But
makes
even
sense.
we've only done the 2-year budget one time.
It was
lots
a
of-
great success.
Yeah, exactly. And lots of municipalities do this, so maybe we just need to learn how to do it well. But there were so many changes made that it was like, it sort of felt like we were just almost starting over from scratch.
Yeah. That, like, the whole point of the 2-year budget was so that we wouldn't have a meeting like we had last year for part 2 of the budget. It was as bad or worse than a normal budget.
I mean, if people are looking for like a council soap opera, then they should tune in to last year's budget.
Yeah.
Like, there was drama.
Yeah.
There was, I don't know if there was much laughter, but there was
I
lots
was
of drama.
laughing.
There were tears.
Yeah, it was something.
So, okay, yeah, also, I have that in my notes, that there's too little drama right now.
Oh.
It's giving us not enough stuff to talk about.
That's true.
I'm challenging people, like, not in public, behind the scenes. I'm telling people I'll fight them and things like that. But that's all, when the cameras are on, I'm putting my best foot forward.
Okay.
Yeah, it's behind, like, the drama's behind the scenes where,
Okay.
I'm threatening people.
So what we need to do is we need to, like, do, like, a reality show
Yes.
on
Yeah.
Shanon Zachidniak, 2-termer. And the cameras can follow you backstage.
Yeah, and then I'll
at City Hall.
slap the camera out of my get out of my face.
This is my
Slap the mic.
this is my special day.
Yes, and then I've got my wardrobe folks following me around.
Yeah.
And why would I wear that?
Yeah.
Day in the life sort of thing.
It's a typical day at City Hall.
Yeah,
That
there'd be a
sounds awesome.
confession booth where like all the councillors would be able to say.
Oh, that'd be so great. And it'd play like some funky techno music.
Yeah.
And then we get asked questions. Yeah.
And
I love
you'd
that.
get like, you get Mark Burton in there going,
Yeah.
oh, that councillor Zachidniak, she's a lot. That's my best Mark Burton.
Okay.
Oh, no, okay, I probably could do better.
On the budget, sort of.
You love talking about the budget.
I do.
This is like
I'm sorry. I'm
a
obsessed.
precursor for my 5
thought it
days.
was- I thought it was next week. I thought this was like really important. So the Enviro stuff that you have been deeply involved in, the energy and sustainability framework.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of things that I haven't heard a whole lot about, that is always something that comes up in the budget, and I think it's one of those things that gets short shrift often budget time. Can you give us an update on the status of the sustainability framework and stuff?
We're not meeting our targets. And so I don't have like a great status update aside from that, that we need to be investing more into the framework if to meet our targets. We've fallen behind, especially on the community scale, also on a corporate scale, but much more so on a community scale. And sure, we don't directly control community emissions. And I know that the staff are trying their best, but with limited resources, there's only so much that you can do. And obviously there's, we have infrastructure deficit, and the cost of living has risen, and it's just difficult economically right now. Yeah. I do have a motion that I'm going to be bringing forward after budget deliberations, where we're going to be exploring some alternate funding mechanisms, and some of them could be funneled into the energy and sustainability framework. If some of them are more suitable for other areas, like, so for example, we could have a tax subclass, and we just are now exploring that for parking lots, and also, surface parking lots, and also abandoned and derelict properties. So you could take that money, the extra money that you're getting from those initiatives, and funnel it into, say, housing. Let's say we had one that was more like, it could be also a surcharge or a user fee, and if it was on a topic that could make sense to funnel it into energy and sustainability, there's other ways to fund things aside from going to the tax base. Nice. So I've been I had some of that. I had a motion ready like 2 years ago, and the former mayor discouraged me from bringing it forward, that it wasn't the right time.
Oh, wow.
And I knew that I wouldn't have the votes. And so I've had this motion waiting, and I'm going to improve it and expand on it, because now I have examples of what other municipalities are doing across North America. It's a pretty exhaustive list. I'm not going to put like 50 things to our administration to consider, but I think I'll send it to them first and say, which of these things do you think would have the biggest impact, like that makes the most sense for us to focus on as a municipality right now. So in time, if we can find other ways to generate some revenue, then we don't have to just rely on the mill rate.
Cool. Right on. So when do you think you'll be bringing that?
Next opportunity, so that would be
like April-y?
No, I think it's like March. It's March 20 something. We have
March 26th.
Right after the budget, we have a council meeting.
Right.
So it should be ready for that one.
So you'll be nice and rested up.
That's right. There's no breaks at the city level, right?
No.
You don't get to prorogue city council.
All right. Well, we should go to innovative revenue tools. You'll stick around for the second half, I hope. Good. Here we go.
Say yes. Yes, I will.
Good.
Excellent.
And that was it for a very brief innovative revenue tools. All right. So let's move on from budget. I want to talk to you about recycling.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes, it is okay.
Okay, because there were big changes to the recycling plan. I read them, and they just kind of went in like my eyes, and they went no further. They still haven't hit my optical nerve.
I find all of our waste diversion reports exciting, and that is true.
I thought you would. That's why we have you here, actually, to make waste diversion exciting.
Oh, it's. I actually the other day at council was people were trying to dispose of their like after we were done our lunches. And I could see it wasn't being done properly, so I went over there and started scraping out the containers and putting things in the appropriate recycling and waste diversion buckets. This is a service I provide. Well, yeah, I think they do. I think it was useful. I got some thank yous.
Okay.
So, Yeah, it was done with kindness.
But did you also do it with that mom, I'm modeling good behavior here?
No, I let my actions speak for themselves.
Okay.
And I was like, this is my hobby, guys, which, like, I'm not, it's true. It is a hobby of mine.
Right.
Waste diversion.
Cool.
So
but
what do you want?
It's a big change. Like, there was a big change.
It is a big change, yeah.
It sounds like it's going to save us some money. And it's province directed?
Yeah, and so this has been a long time coming, where the province is getting much more involved in the recycling, and I guess we had two options to choose from. One, which was where we would have nothing to do with it at all anymore, like that they would do the processing and the collection. However, we opted to continue with the collection, but the province does the processing. So the processing was not like that's changing for everyone. And what's great about that is it'll standardize recycling across the province, because right now every municipality has different rules.
Right. Now, it sounded to me like we were expanding the number of plastics we're taking in, but reducing, like we're not going to be doing, like, say, glass anymore.
Yeah. And so, and again, that's the province. The province has decided that not to recycle glass. And I know it was always a tricky thing with the way that we pick up glass for it to be recycled, because when they pick it up and dump it in the truck, the chances of it breaking is high. Yeah. And so the province made the decision not to take glass. I believe you can take it to Sarcan, but obviously that's not this. I'm pretty sure, but that it's not as handy as just being able to put it in your curbside recycling.
Right. Now, it's still going to be like dump all of your recycling unsorted into one big bin. Yeah.
And so aside from the glass, there will be more items that are able to be recycled. And so the city will be doing education about that, as will the province. And they are also pushing us to hit higher waste diversion targets, like the whole province. Oh, yeah. Wow. And so I think that's exciting, and it means we're going to have to educate folks, like bump up our education on diversion. And as a last case scenario, if we educate all day and that makes no difference, we will now have the ability to fine people if they refuse to recycle properly. And there's some folks like who will come along with education and they just don't know, and that's fine. But there's some people, honestly, who don't care and won't care until they get a fine. And so I know that the city is not going to lightly give out fines. So my thoughts are, when it gets to that point, it's because we've exhausted all other options.
So it'll be the city issuing the fines, even though it sounds like it's a sort of provincial mandate behind all of this.
Well, the province, so if the city is going to be involved in collection, which we are, then you are also committing to the province that you can meet certain waste diversion targets. And so it's up to you to figure out how to meet those. So they will be doing education. We will be complementing that with education. And the fine is just, like I said, if necessary. And one of the reasons that we are doing the collection, that we're going to continue to do it, is because we're doing it for garbage and compost anyway. We want to make sure that we're able to plan the recycling days differently than the garbage and compost days, so that you don't have multiple carts out at the same time, because some folks don't have the ability to put multiple out at the same time. And I think us having the ability to lead on education is also good, because if the province is just doing the same education for everybody, the needs are different based on the communities. And I think it'll allow us to focus at the municipal level on bumping up our waste diversion. So overall, it's like a really exciting change.
And for education, are they just going to get you to go around and
I'm going to go.
Scraping
that's right.
Stuff?
I will knock on your door and say, "Are you done your supper yet?" And then I will grab your dishes, scrape them into the compost, explain what I'm doing, and
Now,
go through your garbage and make sure it's sorted properly.
Brilliant.
I have my own way of diverting waste.
Okay. I really don't like where this is going already.
Okay, great, because you won't like the rest of it either. So what I do is I dress up like a rodeo clown,
Okay.
and I dance around the waste to divert it from the cowboy who lives in my dumpster.
Okay, that's the way. Yep.
So I don't want to get fined for dressing up like a clown and dancing around.
Oh no, that's encouraged.
Oh, yeah. Good. Yeah.
As long as you actually send the waste to the appropriate place when you're diverting it from your. Wait, are we talking about?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Dumpster stuff. Okay.
Look, all I know is that the cowboy, really appreciates it. So
Oh, well, as long as if he's eating it, then that's diverting waste at the end of the day.
It, frankly.
Cowboy trash bag. Fill me up, Aiden.
So if anybody out there listening would like to submit illustrations of me as a rodeo clown and perhaps Paul as cowboy trash mouth, I don't know.
I knew it was you, Paul.
I didn't want to say anything.
And Shannon is like the person going, what? That's great. We will accept all illustrations, all art.
Yeah.
I'm looking for campaign literature for next time, so
right.
I'm just kidding. There's probably not going to be a next time.
No, it's too early to be making announcements about next election.
Next time I'm running for premier. That's what.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
For prime minister. It doesn't work like that.
No.
So.
No.
I knew it was a stepping stone.
Yeah,
to
that's right.
So what about the composting? Because that's also had some changes recently. I guess the city has taken over from the contractor that was doing the composting out at the dump.
Yeah.
How's that going? Because we're still looking for a location.
Yeah, and I want to clear up, it's probably not your listeners who have this misconception, but I'm really tired of hearing the misconception that our compost is just going to the dump. It is not going to the dump. It is going to a compost processing site that we've had since we did the composting as a pilot project multiple years ago. And then so I've also heard folks be like, well, is it what's it doing at this site, right?
Composting.
It's composting. It's actually going to a compost facility that the city set up while we were doing this pilot project. And we, it can't be sent there indefinitely. We'll run out of the ability to, it's only set up as a temporary compost facility. However, I believe they can continue to utilize this facility for, I don't know if it's the entire remainder of this year, but for most of this year, if not all of this year, while they reissue an RFP and find a new someone else who wants to take the work on. I asked about whether the city would, and they've looked into it, but as it's a completely new area for us,
right?
When they looked into this, it sounds like, or they said they didn't it wasn't more cost efficient for the city to take it on. I'm assuming because we don't actually know what we're doing in this regard. So it's better to have somebody who has expertise with compost processing to put in an RFP and do the work. And I guess if that's what it came to, they would be willing to consider it, but it wasn't their preferred option.
Okay. Now, the reason the last facility fell through, we had a location chosen in an RM, and then they voted not to go not to give the approvals for it. Do you have have you been given any indication of where they're looking now for a new site? Are they staying in the city or continuing to look outside?
I think that was, if I remember correctly, that was all on the contractor in terms of they chose the site. So when we give the RFP to someone, part of what they are awarded then is the entire thing. They have to find a suitable site and they have to propose it and execute all other parts of the contract. So I don't think we're looking into that at all. We're just, and I don't know exactly where the process is at, but, I think you could easily argue that it should be in the city. It's our compost. We should find, and maybe it's been a struggle to find the appropriate land. But I mean, I think when the previous site got voted down, there was a lot of misconceptions around it. I'm certain of that. But it's also fair that we take care of our own waste in Regina. And this is where your cowboy, garbage cowboy person, maybe he can deal with our compost.
I will ask.
Okay, please do.
I'll put in the request as I dance around.
Maybe he wants to submit an RFP.
That's right. So you'll get total authority over the city's compost. Right. That'll make him happy.
mean, we might be getting desperate. I hope not. But if so, we would entertain an RFP from, what's his name? Cowboy
Trashmouth.
Cowboy Trashmouth.
Trashmouth. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Paul, you know the name too well. I do think it might be. You might be Cowboy Trashmouth.
Don't look at my chaps.
That's right.
Yeah, sorry.
Just say yeehaw. And let's
yeehaw. Okay.
Very good, very good. I knew it was you. You broke my heart. I knew it was you, Cowboy Trashmouth.
Anyways. So, everything is going well then. Everything is swell. The budget's going to be awesome. The budget ask is going down.
Yeah.
We're going to have a compost site. We're going to have better recycling. So you're all like super happy and everything is going swell. How about that Queen Street apartment, hey?
Well, on the note of reconsideration motions, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I meant to verify this with the clerk. Is it actually the case that you need new information to reconsider something, or can you just continue to reconsider it? So, we've reconsidered it once. Perhaps we reconsider it again.
Oh, my God.
So you're reconsidering.
Yeah, that'd be even better if we had to put the each time we reconsider.
Like a chain email endlessly forwarded?
We will have new information, though, when this airport, when that report comes forward.
Well, yes, and like we've seen the report.
I know, Paul, but do you want it reconsidered or not?
Does the developer even care anymore?
I don't know.
I imagine they've got to have moved on by this point.
I don't know.
You know what they should put in that land?
What?
A fountain, a public fountain.
Yeah.
Full of fluoridated water. It'll be the only place in the city with fluoridated water. Yeah. People can come with buckets.
Low density and fluoridation.
The airplane noise would not be good for the fountain. We can't do that, Aiden.
That's a good point. Fountain might complain.
Yeah, sorry, we should mention, because everything else made sense up until this point. But if you haven't been listening to this show consistently for years, there was a request by a developer to put up apartments on Queen Street, southeast of the airport, kind of in the path of the runway, in developed neighborhood on some lots that could be developed. Mm-hmm. He had a plan for 3 apartment buildings with 6 units in each. They were very low-rise apartments. They required a discretionary use because it was a little bit too tall and a little bit too many units. And the community complained because parking, as they always do, but the airport also complained because they're worried about increasing density, increasing the number of complaints, and then we'll stop air travel.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Yeah. No more plane flights.
Yeah, and
that's my next motion, actually.
Yeah. And then in a tie vote,
retribution.
Retribution. Retribution.
Sorry.
Yeah,
the tie vote.
Yeah. So then it was a tie vote, and so the apartment buildings did not go ahead. And you weren't too happy about this.
No.
Yeah. Why?
Because it was.
Don't you care about air travel?
It's deeply. I deeply care about air travel. I want to be able to fly in and out of Regina. Sure.
Yeah.
Because it was not fact-based. It was all potential future scenarios of something that could happen. Yeah. Perhaps one day City Council may restrict air travel if... there's a whole bunch of... It's a series of ifs. If
right.
we have too many folks. And if those folks start complaining. And if City Council wishes to restrict air travel. And if we're successful... then that would be really bad. So
therefore
we cannot move ahead with this one proposal.
Yeah. Finally, reason prevails.
Yes. So I found it all very frustrating. And the other thing is, it's counter to everything we've been doing in the past over a year to increase density within our city. And it goes against the agreements we made for the Housing Accelerator Fund, where we got a significant amount of money to ensure that we were increasing density in our city. And it's not that there can be fair concerns in terms of density, and our staff have to do their due diligence, and they take it seriously. It is their job to objectively assess every application that they receive. You know, they take oaths as part of their professional memberships in associations. Like their job is to be objective in their roles. So they do their analysis. They come to us with their best recommendation. City Council still has the ability to say no, but it should be for a good reason. And I take it very seriously to consider all of these applications that come our way to ensure that there's not something that's been missed. But, you know, speaking of not liking change, people don't want change in their neighborhoods. And people generally come to us and say, yes, I want density in the city. It's good everywhere else, but not here. It's not that I don't want it in my backyard, but I don't want it in my backyard. And I understand change is hard. People have a lot of fears of what might materialize. I've not seen these fears come to fruition. Yeah. And what people don't realize is that if we don't increase density in the city, your taxes are going to continue to go up because we're going to have to continue to add underground infrastructure, roads, and all of the things that come with a new subdivision, lights, all of it, like all of the piece. Imagine, you know, a field, an empty field, and all the underground and above ground infrastructure needed to support a new neighborhood costs a lot of money, and people don't think about that when they want Regina to stay the same as it was in terms of how it looks, yet continue to expand indefinitely and also want their taxes low. Yeah.
We're on 91.3 FM CJTR, Regina Community Radio. We're the Queen City Improvement Bureau, here with Councillor Shanon Zachidniak. On that, dang, did I get it wrong again? You're listening to 91.3 FM CJTR Access Now Community Radio. So, for the record, I'm still doing the original station ID from when we first started doing this show.
So like
there was like a whole. I've never got used to the middle one, and now I've got to change again.
I know.
I don't know.
Change. It's a terrible thing.
I hate it. But on change, there seems to be this perception that low density versus high density is just a couple extra feet of pipe.
Yeah.
And like on the city side, if you have a single family house on a big lot, like that can be like, if you put like densely packed houses like they have in, say, Cathedral, those are 25-foot lots. You can get up to like 75-foot lots in some of the suburbs. That's like doubling to tripling the number of feet of pipe on the city side. Also doubling or tripling the amount of road to serve the same number of people. And then if you put like, a fourplex or like a low-rise apartment on a 50-foot lot, like to serve the same number of families, you're like more than having the amount of infrastructure that you need to serve these people. And so we've, for all these years, done this low density sprawl out towards our horizon, and then wondered, why is it that all of the infrastructure that we built is breaking and we can never afford to fix it? And it's because we keep sprawling out, building new, but no consideration of like a long-term maintenance plan for it that comes from density, which is what cities have known for 10,000 years, and we kind of forgot in the 20th century. But anyways, that's my rant.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, man. So you're suggesting that you might try to like reconsider this Queen Street apartment thing, or is that just like?
I mean, I think it might be better if it wasn't me, because then it just looks like I can't take no for an answer.
Right.
But if it has to be me,
but
maybe.
Don't people like look up to you as like the wizened old veteran who, you know, knows their way around the procedure bylaw. And
maybe it depends on who you talk to, because they might all have different answers to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I can tell you when I'm no longer deputy mayor. I was deputy mayor since the election, and I'm okay with somebody else taking the reins, because it's not that fun to chair when you're chairing a meeting and you have to keep telling people, like, calling, like, do you have a question, you know, or...
You were pretty good at it by the end of your, like, deputy mayor stretch.
Thank you, but I felt like they all hated me by the end of it. I was like, someone else can do this now.
Because you were scraping the plates the whole time.
I know. Well, to make up for calling them points of order on them, I'll scrape your plate for you.
For you.
Yeah, right. So
I'll tidy up your station.
I'm pleased to, like, I'm just one of their fellow councillors. You know, it's not like it's a bit different than the mayor chairing the meeting and calling, like, a point of order on someone, right?
Yeah. So you have an event coming up. I just wanted to re-up that, call back to it. So it's coming up this Sunday.
Yeah.
March 9th-ish.
Yes.
Yeah, at 6:30.
6:30 at Rosemont Community School in the gym. Oh, and we're going to have pizza.
Oh.
So that's a reason to come out.
Oh, that's good, because I'm really hungry.
And I also have tickets, the first 30-ish, 25, I can't remember how many I have. People who come out get tickets to the farm show. And I know you've been looking for free tickets, and you have, and everybody else in the audience here.
Yes.
You know how I love animals.
So come out and you will get a free admission to the farm show if you're one of the first 30 people, assuming 30 people show up for my budget event.
It could be everybody.
Yeah, the whole city.
Love it.
So one thing I've heard, and I've even noticed from, like, photos online, is all y'all are, like, going to each other's events and hanging out, and lots of, like, arm in arm and wearing the same shirt photos. Like, are you guys on council?
Like matching shirts, or it's somebody wearing the same shirt to each event?
There was one shirt with, like, 22 arms.
The Be Kind shirt, is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, so you guys do seem to be getting on and, like, going out and hanging out in town?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about this, because that is a difference from this council and last council. And it wasn't like there were groups of people who hung out, but not everybody. One difference, to be fair, is when we started in 2020, we were in a pandemic. And so that we started our meetings virtually, and that continued for a while. And it certainly set the beginning was obviously much different, and there wasn't, like, this social component of it. But also, I mean, 4 years later, there still wasn't, right? Yeah. So we've started this term much differently. Lots of councillors are hosting events, and we're supporting each other, going to each other's events, promoting each other's events. So there's a much more collaborative energy. Even we're not all aligned or on the same page, but we're still supporting each other by promoting and attending each other's events. And I think it's a good thing for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, no blood feuds. We need content.
Yeah. Conflict. Conflict is the essence of narrative.
Yes. If I had to predict the future, I don't think it's going to stay 100% the way that it is. I mean, I hope that we already, there's plenty of things that we don't all agree on. I hope that we can disagree with each other in a professional and respectful way. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't think we're in the honeymoon phase. So, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it can stay professional and respectful, though, because that's what people want. And people made that very clear to everybody on the doorsteps. People mentioned on multiple occasions that they heard this message loud and clear. So although the two of you, it's not great for your show if we are being professional and respectful. It's better for the residents of Regina.
Yeah. I don't want to like talk about Chad as like some kind of avatar for, voter intention, but it definitely, like, the fact that he won the election, I think, had a lot to do with they were going to pick the nicest guy.
Yes, they were going to pick the one free of old encumbrances and old attitudes.
Yeah.
So, which is great.
Yeah.
I met Chad for the first time. I didn't think he was going to win the election. He was, and I said to him,
we both lost the office pool, and there was only us in it.
When I met him at the senior center, there was a senior center debate, and so I recognized that he was the mayoral candidate. I didn't know his name at the time, and he was walking in and I was walking out, and I was like, hello, mayoral candidate. I was like, you're one of the mayoral candidates. And he's like, yes. And I said, hello there, I'm Shanon Zachidniak. Like, I thought I was just being friendly. Yeah. And I was like, yes, I introduced myself. I was nice that day. We got off on the right foot. But when he did win and he came to, I was at Leopold's Tavern that night, and he stopped by and I said, did you think you were going to win? Like, I was like, I was so surprised when he won. And his campaign was starting to get an idea, like, I think in maybe the last week of the election, they're doing polling. They're starting to see they're gaining traction. But I was shocked. And I think it was the best. Like, I'm really happy with the outcome. And so, yeah.
But you didn't end your story. What did he say?
Oh, he said, like, in the last week of the election, they were starting to get an indication. I'm sure it still felt...
Yeah.
Like, you're not... Like, I didn't know I was going to win because... maybe some people just assume they are, but I certainly wasn't like that. And so that's how I felt. And people kept telling me, of course, you're going to win the re-election. And it wasn't close. Yeah. But if that's how I felt, imagine, like... I can't imagine how he would have felt. Like, I'm sure felt unreal.
I bet when he went home that night and said, yes, I met Cheryl Stadnichuk.
He may have. Oh, good. I'm glad we can continue that, because there is nobody on this council who I get confused for. So
I know. Yeah. Another thing that, like, really produces a content deficit on our show.
Yeah. I'm sorry. The lawyer at our city solicitor, her name is Shanon, and people will refer, like, when they're talking, I don't know why they don't just call us by our last names in that scenario, but they'll be like Shanon with one N, Shanon with two N's. So there is still some confusion out there, and so it's me. I'm the problem, and I need Sky Morgan.
Hey,
oh yeah,
just bring her back.
Go by your radio name.
That's right.
That's right. Get yourself a Sonic burger.
I'll have to promote Sonic during council meetings, which won't go over well if we're, like, in the middle of a tariff war with the United States.
Right. Probably not.
Yeah.
We gotta shut her down.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're almost out of time here. Time locks are gonna open.
Are you moving to adjourn?
I know. I wanted you to, because I always second.
Okay, I'll move to adjourn.
I will second that motion.
Can I call a point of order?
Sure.
Okay. I don't actually want to. I was just checking for next time. Maybe I'll be deputy mayor again next time.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, that point of order not called. Then this meeting is adjourned. You've been listening to the Queen City Improvement Bureau on 91.3 FM. Access Now Community Radio. Tune into the community. You can. I know. I'm pretty good. Our hosts are Paul Deschaine and Aidan Morgan. Our guest tonight was Shanon Zachidniak, councillor for Ward 8, and the two-termer.
Woo!
Woo!
Hello, listeners. Editing Paul here. I've lost the last few seconds of our outro, and normally that wouldn't be a problem, but we ended the meeting this week with a promo for an upcoming live Queen City Improvement Bureau availability. Aidan and I will be emceeing the Not a Birthday fundraiser presented by Impresario John Q. Kennedy Esquire on March 13th at the Exchange. It'll be a night of music with the Kennedy Project, Lexi Desjardins, Dean Cush, Chris Matchett, Kara Golameba, and Ron Luce. Doors are at 7:15. Pay what you want. All money raised will go to support Carmichael Outreach and Creative Kids. We'll be doing this in lieu of a show that week, so if you need a QCIB fix on March 13th, you'll have to come to the Exchange and get it live. We hope to see you there.